That's my best friend. That's my best friend.
Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, the 3rd verse. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest, a holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings.
Okay, so let's go from there to the Gospel of Luke, the 4th chapter. The Gospel of Luke, the 4th chapter. From the Gospel of Luke, the 4th chapter, the same ones you read last week about Hamashiach, doing just exactly what the commandment commands us to do in Leviticus 23 and 3. Even Hamashiach kept the law, or the Torah, or Torah. The Gospel of Luke, the 4th chapter. Yes, sir.
The book of Luke, chapter 4, verse 18. The Spirit of Yahweh is upon me, because he had anointed
Back it up, back it up. The verse before that, the verse before that. Let's read the verses before that. The same verses that we always bring out these verses, because I want what Hamashiach is doing just exactly what the commandment teaches him to do, teaches us to do in Leviticus 23 and 3.
That would be verse 17.
Yes, sir.
And there was delivered
No,
unto
sir.
him.
No, sir. Back it up, please. Back it up. Back it up. And he went into the synagogue. Come on, scholars. Where my scholars at?
That would be Luke, the 4th chapter, verse 16.
Yes, sir. That's what I want. Same ones
And he
already.
came
Yes.
to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. And as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up for to read.
Read that again.
And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. And as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up for to read.
Okay, so right here we see that Hamashiach, whom the world know of as Christ, that he was keeping what? Hamashiach, whom the world know of as Christ, we see that he was keeping what in Luke the 4th chapter?
Sabbath.
The Sabbath. So he said, I came not to abolish or do away with the Torah, but to fulfill it. And he's our great example. That's why that's why whenever I open up Shabbat, whenever I open up Sabbath class, I always open up with these two verses, Leviticus 23 and 3, which is the law. And then we go right on over to the gospel, which is a testimony of Hamashiach. Okay? We go right on over and we get a precept on Hamashiach, who's our great example of going into the synagogue on what? The Sabbath. Now we understand that the temple was not in Nazareth, right? Nazareth, right? Right? The temple was not in Nazareth, where he was raised. The temple was where? In Jerusalem. The temple was in Jerusalem. Brother Frank.
Yes, sir.
Brother Frank.
This one right here.
So, whenever we open up, we're going to open up with these two verses, okay? Because we want to know why we do what we do, okay? Because we have a lot of our people who go to church, and I'm not putting my people down in the Sunday theology. I love my people, and this is not meant to offend, because I love you all. But a lot of people don't know why they go to church, generally on the Sunday and not the Shabbat, because they following traditions, okay? So we want to know why we do what we do, and we want to bring up these precepts from the scriptures, okay? So the temple was not in Nazareth, okay, where he was brought up as a child, okay? The temple was not there. The temple was in Jerusalem, okay? But although the temple was not in Nazareth, he was still keeping the Shabbat, right? So the Shabbat has to be kept wherever you at, right? 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 Okay. Somebody say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right, give yourselves a hand for being here this morning. I am Apostle Malachi, or Moray, Malachi, whatever your preference is, or an ambassador of the Most High Yah, facilitator and coordinator of Lost Found Israelites Ministries here in Fort Worth, Texas. We are the first organized Hebrew Israelite congregation of Fort Worth, Texas. And I would like to personally thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to come and fellowship with us out of your reverence for the Most High and His commandment. Okay? Out of your reverence. So I want to personally thank you. Me and my household want to personally thank you for taking time out to come and fellowship with us out of your reverence and obedience to the Most High. Yeah. So that I want to personally thank you for. This morning, before I proceed forth with the word, I'm going to teach this morning on two lessons. The first lesson is going to be titled, Be a Listener First. Be a listener first. And the second lesson is going to be entitled Family Structures and Family Values and Roles. Okay? One thing about this ministry, we don't get into a lot of controversial teachings. Now, I know it is controversial to teach that we are the true Hebrew Israelites. And I know it's controversial to teach that we should keep the Shabbat and not Sunday. But this ministry, we focus on the basics. Like in the book of Ecclesiastes, where in the last chapter, the last verse, or the last verses, it says, fear Yah and keep the commandments. That's what we focus on, okay? And we focus on things that concerns your salvation, okay? Just knowing you're an Israelite is not enough. Just knowing a bunch of scriptures is not enough. Because a report just came out, Brother Lee, and it really disturbed me, man. A report just came out, men of Israel, that black folk, so-called, that we read a lot of Bible more than anybody else. But we ain't building nothing.
Y'all hear that?
But we're not doing what?
We read a lot of Bible. That's the new thing now. Yeah, these Hebrew Israelites bringing out all these scriptures, but they ain't building nothing. They ain't even helping their own people. And that's an indictment on us as a people. I felt embarrassed by that. All the other ethnicities, they read less, they read this book less, and they produce more. We read it more, and we produce less. when Torah should actually help us pool our resources together and build for our own. That's the basics. You got people in the world who ain't even reading no Torah, you understand? But they doing that very basics.
Mercy.
Let me tell you something. I should not have to keep going out trying to look for a Hebrew Israelite sister and brother to teach the Hebrew Children's Academy. You trust your oppressors more than you trust you and I putting together a Hebrew Children's curriculum for our students. I should not have to do this. I should not have to go out and find me a coordinator to help me with the administration of this ministry. If we all in these scriptures, the Torah teaches us to help one another. Right? Because children learn on a different level. They learn on a different level. And we say we don't trust the public schools, we don't trust this, we don't trust that. Well, what are you doing to help the apostle? You understand? I do the majority of the teaching of the Hebrew Children's Academy through the week, but I shouldn't have to. Okay? But I love you all, and I appreciate you all. And we need to get to business. Okay? Just because you bring out a lot of scriptures and quoting a lot of scriptures and study more than somebody else studied, what are you building? I'm not buying no more Bibles. I'm through with that. I'm not buying no more Hebrew. I'm through with it. Because I'm through with it. I'm through. I'm not buying right now. I'm not buying no more fringes. I'm through with that. Because we still missing the spiritual intent of keeping Torah. We missing it. Be a listener first. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 5:1. Ecclesiastes 5:1. Ecclesiastes 5:1. Be a listener first. When you get it, read it. When you get it, everybody say, Came.
Everybody there? Ecclesiastes 5:1 reads, Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of Yah, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools. For they consider not that they do evil.
So, we need to be more ready to hear what thus says the scriptures, because the scriptures is the word of Almighty Yah. You understand? We need to be more ready to hear the instructions of the scriptures before we try to teach anybody. Y'all know Torah is really instructions. And one thing about me, if it's something that I don't understand, I ain't gonna teach it. Oh, he just teach the basics. Exactly. Because we haven't, as a people, us Hebrew Israelites that's awakened, I look at our condition, we have not mastered the basics. I don't care if Ruth was an Israelite or Moabite. Stop being a liar. That's the focus of this ministry. Stop being a liar. Stop being an adulterer and an adulteress. Stop sowing discord between your brother and your sister. Before I hear something about a so-called white man being the devil, I don't want to hear that. Are you a liar? Keep the Big Ten. Master the Big Ten. Do you keep Shabbat? Let's master the Big Ten. Do you help your brother or your sister out when they hungry? Brother Nehemiah go down to the homeless shelter and feed folks.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
So we need to be more readily to hear instructions from the scriptures than before we, try to, teach and do all this other type of stuff, We need to hear. Hamashiach said in the book of Revelation that that he who has an ear to hear, let him hear what the Spirit has to say to the churches. Let him hear what the Ruach has to say to the churches. Do you have an ear to hear, thus says the scriptures? Okay? I'm not talking about people's opinions. I'm talking about clear-cut commandments. Okay? Let's go to James, first chapter, James. James, the first chapter, we're going to read from the 19th through the 27th verses. Be a listener first. How do you know how to please the Most High Yah if you don't know how to be a listener? Right? You got to hear the commandments, right? You got to hear the instructions, right? James, first chapter, 19 through the 27th verse.
James chapter 1 verse 19 reads, Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. For the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of Yah. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls.
That's to the 27th?
22nd.
The 27th.
Oh, 27.
Yes.
But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. For if any be a hearer of the word, and not a doer, he is liker to a man beholding his natural face in the glass. For he beholdeth himself, and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty, and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. If any man among you seem to be religious, and bridleth not his tongue, deceiveth his own heart. But deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is vain.
Bridle not
His
his
what?
Tongue.
Bridle not his what?
Tongue.
We got a lot of folks doing a lot of this.
Right.
I'm Hebrew Israelite. But you're a liar. You're a thief. You're a whoremonger. You're a whore. Oh, the so-called white man gonna pay for what he did to us. Well, what are you doing to your own people? What are you doing to yourself? We love to hear that we Hebrew Israelites, that we're chosen, that we're royalty. You love to hear this, but you neglect to do what the perfect law of liberty is instructing you to do. The perfect law of liberty is simply the law, the Torah. The first 5 books of the Bible. Whenever I read Exodus the 20th chapter, I'm reading the perfect law. Whenever I read about the dietary law, whenever I read about the other parts of the law, I'm looking into the perfect law of liberty. What does it liberate me from? Sin. Transgression. I still, on my own personal time, I still just go down Exodus the 20th chapter just to keep myself in check. Paul said, let a man examine himself. Like I don't just study the Bible just to teach somebody, Brother Lee. I study that book for me. Because the Mashiach said that, see, your worst enemy is yourself. Hamashiach said, whosoever desires to follow after him, let him deny the so-called white man. Let him deny Shaitan. No. Whosoever desires to follow after him, let him deny themselves.
See, you your own greatest enemy. Israel has always been their own greatest enemy. In the wilderness, it was just them and Moses and the Most High Yah. You couldn't blame it on Egypt. Couldn't blame it on the Canaanites. They hadn't made it there yet. So why did they rebel? You couldn't play that blame game then.
It's plain in James 1.
So they just, at Mount Sinai, they just
What? At Mount Sinai, they just what? They hear it,
They do.
but they didn't do it. And what did they say? Go to Exodus 20 chapter. Exodus the 20 chapter. After they got through reading, after the Most High gave them those commandments, Exodus the 20 chapter. After he gave them those commandments, let's find out what did they say. What verse is that? They said something. They said, well, it may not be in Exodus 20 chapter, where it says, they said, all that you have,
said what
yeah.
you do.
What verse is that? It's not in Exodus 20 chapter, it's, what verse is that, scholars? What my scholars at?
It's Exodus 2019.
Where they said, all that the Most High has said we would do. What verse is that?
19 and 8.
It's 19:8. Read that, brother.
And all the people answered together and said, all that the Most High has spoken, we will do. And Moshe returned the words of the people unto the Most High.
So read that again, brother.
Verse 8. And all the people answered together and said, all that the Most High has spoken, we will do. And Moshe returned the words of the people unto the Most High.
So the people said, all that the Most High has said, we have heard, but they proved themselves to be just a bunch of hearers and not doers.
Right.
Just hearers, but not doers. They gave a solemn oath that they would practice to keep Torah, that they would practice to keep the perfect law of liberty, that I won't
commit adultery.
Right.
that I won't commit covetousness against my brother's wife, that I won't be bearing false witness.
Right.
I'm going to do all that. But they proved themselves in the wilderness to be just hearers and not doers. It's just like, I go to a lot of, I'm a part of a lot of, groups, black activist groups. We love to talk about our problems. We love to even hear about our problems. We even entertain, it's entertaining to hear about our problems now. It'll even make you some money. You can write about our problems by writing books, and make money. So it's become profitable economically to just talk about black folks' problems. But when it comes down to the solution, brother, don't nobody want to make the sacrifices in order to resolve our issues as a people. Our problems as a quote-unquote black folks will not be solved unless we collectively make a sacrifice. There is no progress without a sacrifice. There is no solution without a sacrifice. So they was hearers but not doers. So we have too many people doing too much of this. Just like we have too many Hebrew Israelites that want to be teachers. Get me that in James, brother. Where it says, I didn't want to teach. I was in Vicksburg and I was telling somebody I don't want to teach. I was drafted. I just wanted to come to church, pay my tithes, play the drums, and see you. But the Most High said, no, I want you to preach. Look, and Elder Timothy back there, Timothy, he can probably tell you the same thing. Most preachers I know, they didn't want to preach. And some still don't want to preach. And I'm talking about some of them that's on the Sunday theology too. Some of them don't want to preach. We done had pastoral leadership meetings, and some of them don't want to preach, but they was drafted, they was called. Moses, let's get our great example. Moses didn't want to lead. He said, "Oh no, get somebody else," And during the time of him leading them, he said, "I did not tell you I didn't want to deal with these people?" Because we think that, and I was telling someone that, people attack the church because it's easy target. But you want to attack the government when they do you wrong. Well, I ain't going back to that church because I saw something I ain't like. But when the government do something wrong, you don't leave the country.
Say it.
When something happened on your job, you don't leave right then and there.
Say it.
But you use the church as a scapegoat. We got to see. The church on a Sunday deserves criticism because they misinform. They misinform about the scriptures. You understand? But we have to understand also that they have done a lot of good work. It ain't too many Hebrews that's actually feeding people, putting people in the shelter. Hello? Get that scripture right there.
Okay, fine.
Where it says in the book of James, desire not many of you to be teachers. Y'all know where we at?
I think it's, is that First Timothy 3?
Yes, I think it's in 1 Timothy.
Okay.
First Timothy.
It's in Timothy?
1.
First
Okay.
Timothy 3 and 1.
Well, my mistake. I thought it was in the book of James. That's my mistake. That's why we need one another.
That's why teachers is served the worst as punishment, though.
That's right.
Out of 3 minutes.
That's right.
Healing, preaching, and teaching.
Oh, we got it?
I think that's it. It says,
Desire not many of you to be
Teachers.
teachers.
Don't nobody want.
If you Google that up,
It
it should.
says Timothy, 1 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7 reads, desiring to be teachers of the law. Is that it?
No, it says, desire not many of you to be
No, that's not it.
teachers, knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation. Just type in, desire not many of you to be teachers.
1 Timothy 1 and 7.
Okay, let's try that. 1 Timothy 1 and 7. 1 Timothy 1 and 7.
Yeah, that's where I was at. Desiring to be teachers of the law, understanding neither what they say nor whereof they affirm. Oh, that's not it, though.
No, that's not it.
Let me get on it.
Let me see if I can pull it up. I think it's in the book of James.
it keeps saying, or James 3 and 1.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I was. It don't read the same.
It don't?
It says, my brethren, be not many masters, knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation.
Okay, well, another translation, it says, be not many teachers.
Right. Yeah.
Be not many teachers, for knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation.
That word master
Yeah,
means
it has
teachers.
the word master there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It means teachers.
And I saw in another translation, it says, desire not many of you to be teachers.
Yeah.
Moses didn't want to teach or lead our forefathers because they were stiff-necked then and they're stiff-necked today. Everybody want to jump on Facebook, I'm a teacher. Facebook make a lot of people look like they something and they really ain't nothing.
Right.
If they shut down the internet now, ain't nobody going. Half of these so-called internet teachers, your ministry is shut down. Before I did this on internet, before I did Facebook Live, we've been congregating in person for years. But be a listener first. Let's go to Proverbs 1 and 5. Proverbs 1 and 5. No one is born a good listener. You have to learn to be a good listener. One of my junior high teachers taught me how to be a good listener. No one is born a good listener. You have to learn how to be a good listener. And Proverbs 1 and 5 will show you why it's important for you to listen, hear. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't ask questions. It doesn't mean you don't give comments. You understand? All it's saying is that you listen first before you respond. Listen before you ask a question. Listen. It's not saying don't ask no questions. It's saying be swift to hear and slow to speak. Proverbs 1 and 5.
Proverbs 1 is learning, and the man of understanding shall attain to wise counsel.
A wise man will what?
A wise man will hear.
A wise man will what?
Will hear.
A wise man will what, y'all?
Will hear.
So you're considered wise if you just listen. Even a fool. Is that there?
Nah.
Find that one where it says even a fool is considered wise
Until they open his mouth.
by just listening. Ooh, that's a bad one right there. Even a fool can show that he has some wisdom if he just shut his mouth.
Go ahead, Elder.
Proverbs 17 and 28.
Okay, go ahead. While you finding that, go ahead and speak, sir.
But if you can't learn, you can't teach. You have
That's
to
right.
learn to be able to teach.
And that simply means be a listener first. How can you learn if you don't listen? Like my old junior high teacher would tell me, well, if you would listen, you will be able to learn the question that you're now asking me. But you're asking me this question because you didn't listen. That's my old junior high teacher. I had a little fun in junior high. Read that one, brother.
Okay, it reads, Proverbs 17 and 28. Even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise. And he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding.
So instead of the fool reacting out, he's holding his peace. He's being quiet. See, whenever something happened in the black community, everybody's always doing all this. And you see it all on social media. Actually, they're just causing confusion. And we, who are Hebrew Israelites, who are awakened and keeping the commandments, we should really just pray about that thing and wait till the Most High bringing it to the light. But the first thing we tend to do as a people is go and talk and spread gossip, and instead of just, I'm trying to figure out, is there any Hebrew Israelites out here that actually prays? I know you read the scriptures, but do you pray? And if you pray, how long do you pray? Daniel was a praying man. How many times did he kneel down and pray? And you read the book of Psalms. Psalm was written by King David. He was a praying man. And his prayers were emotional. So we got these scriptures, but does anybody have a praying spirit? A zeal for prayer? When Hebrews come together, I mean, sometimes can't we just pray? Can't we just have a prayer meeting? Elijah was a praying man. It's in our heritage.
You
So we need to be a listener first. Go ahead, brother.
A precept for that, y'all, is Job 13:5. It reads, "Oh, that ye would altogether hold your peace, and it should be your wisdom." So it's just saying the same exact thing.
Hold your peace. And it shall be your what?
Your wisdom.
Your wisdom.
Now let's go to next lesson: family, structure, and values. Family, structure, and values, and roles. Family, structure, values, and roles. Let's go to Genesis, first chapter. Read the 26 through the 28 verses. Genesis, the first chapter, 26 and 28. 26 through the 28 verses. We talk about family, structure, values, and roles. Because right now they're trying to, no, they're not trying to. Right now they are redefining the role. I mean the meaning of family. They are redefining even the roles of a man and of a woman. So we're going to get out family structure and values and roles from the Bible. Genesis 1, read the 26 through the 28 verses.
Genesis 1:26 reads, "And Yah said, Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creepy thing that creepeth upon the earth." So Yah created man in his own image. In the image of Yah created he him. Male and female created he them. And Yah blessed them, and Yah said unto them, "Be fruitful, and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth."
Okay. So we see
That mankind was made in the image of Yah Elohim. Okay? And man's role was to have dominion, was to rule. He was to be the head over Elohim's creation. That's our role as men, is to rule. Okay? But we don't rule any kind of way. You understand? We rule according to the commandments of Yah Elohim, according to the perfect law of liberty, according to Torah, in the spirit of Hamashiach. Was that the 28th verse you read down to 28?
Yeah, I read 28.
Okay, let's go to second chapter of Genesis. Second chapter of Genesis, the chapter over from the first chapter. Read the 7th verse, then drop down to the 18th verse.
Genesis 2, verse 7 reads, "And the Most High Elohim formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul."
18th verse.
Verse 18, "And the Most High Elohim said, It is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him."
So although mankind was given the ability to rule over Elohim's creation, you understand, he was still incomplete. Man without a woman is incomplete. Man without a woman's touch is incomplete. That's a rhema word right there. He had the touch of Most High Yah, but he needed a touch from a woman. You understand? And see, a woman helps balance a man. The right woman. Okay? Read the 21st to the 25th verse.
21, "And the Most High Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs, and he closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Most High Elohim had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of a man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they were both naked, and man and his wife, and were not ashamed."
Now we see right here that the Most High Yah Elohim performed the first marriage. Right? he performed the first marriage. And he formed man the right type of woman that would fit his need. Hello? That would match his purpose. Hello? Let me say that again. He formed for man the right type of woman that would fit his need and that would match his purpose. Hello? That he can they both agree. How can they walk together unless they what? Agree. See, when he put Adam and Eve together, there was no, I'm gonna do this and you'll do that. No, that's what that's how they redefining the roles of men and women today. They saying that, okay, sister, you can marry this man, but you can still do what you want to do. The woman was made for the man. And the man was made for Yah Elohim. Let me break that down, okay? Just like, now when I say that the woman was made for the man, that does not give the man the right to misuse and abuse the woman, nor to treat her like a slave. Okay? Because mankind was to have rule over all the Most High's creation, but he was not to treat the Most High's creation like a slave. He was not to misuse and abuse his creation. You know, like how they abusing the sea with these oil tankers and polluting the water. Mankind was not given authority over the Most High's creation to abuse the environment. So if you're not supposed to be abusing the environment and you're over the creation, then why would you want to abuse your woman that the Most High put you over? Oh, that's powerful right there. Say it. That's powerful. So the Most High, he performed the wedding, the first wedding, and he gave Adam the right woman, okay, who would fit not his lust, but his purpose. His purpose. When he gave him this woman, okay, it's just that later on, you know, she separated from her purpose and disobeyed, you understand? And with that obedience, caused disobedience upon her husband, okay? But I don't want to go into that right now. My purpose is to show you that the Most High put together the first family.
Right?
Yes.
The Most High put together the first family, and he put them together in a perfect state. There's nothing wrong with the perfect family of a man and a woman.
He ordained marriage.
That's right, between a man and a woman. See, nowadays we have to be specific because they done made it legal now
To marry the same sex.
for the so-called same-sex marriages.
Sin.
Now they calling that the new family. They redefining the role of a man and a woman, and they redefining the definition of marriage. You know, even though most Americans opposed it, the Supreme Court justices, most of them, the majority, ruled in favor of it. Because most states had banned it. But they appealed it and took it to the Supreme Court, and they legalized it. And it's really not the job of the court system to legislate any law.
So the Most High put together the first family, and if it ain't like that, it ain't a family. It's dysfunction.
It's satanic.
Abomination.
It's an abomination. But if you're practicing that lifestyle, you can change. You can repent.
And if you don't,
You can stop. I'm not doing no hate talk. If you practicing that lifestyle, our intent is for you to stop, repent and keep the word of the Most High Yah. How can a young man clean his way? By taking heed according to thy word. Psalms 119. Okay? Let's go to, now he says he shall leave his mother and his father and cleave unto his wife. Read 19th chapter of Matthews. The 19th chapter of Matthews, the 3rd through the 6th verse. So when a man marries a woman, he's supposed to cleave to his wife. You're not supposed to be a mama's boy anymore. You continue to honor your mother and your father, but brother, it's time for you to be responsible towards your wife. The Gospel of Matthew 19 chapter 3 through 6 verse.
Matthew 19 and 3 reads, The Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause? And he answered and said unto him, Have ye not read that he which made at the beginning made them male and female?
In the beginning he made them what?
Male and female.
Not Adam and Steve. Not Sarah and Becky. He made them male and female from the beginning. That was the first family. He put together the first family. How are you going to redefine the definition of a family? How are you going to redefine the roles of a man and a woman? You understand? I was listening to LL Cool J Classic 14 Shots to the Dome, 5th album. You know what I'm saying? He did a song called All We Got Left Is the Beat. He said a black man looking out the window and he see white men and black women going to work. You understand? Because the system prefers to hire you, the daughters of Zion. And they desire to hire you and to exalt you and to promote you, sisters, you understand, in order to humiliate the man. Oh no, honey, it ain't just because of your intellect. Yes, you are intelligent. Yes, you are smart. But the system is using your intelligence to keep a nation down, to keep a black messiah from rising in the memo of the FBI. That's in the memo of the FBI. To prevent the rise of a black messiah. The word Messiah simply means anointed. To prevent the rise of an anointed people. Right. Israel is my anointed. You don't listen. Why do you think Pharaoh told the Hebrew midwives, told the women, look, kill all the male babies. And let the females live so they can be my future concubines. You know, back in the days, whenever they conquered a city, they would kill all the men and make the women their sexual slaves. Or castrate the men. That's what they would do. So without a man, you don't have a nation. You cut a man off, you cut off the lineage to that nation.
Keep it from growing.
Keep it. You kill the nation. Yeah. But see, those Hebrew midwives, and like the sisters today, you know, don't look down on your brothers and sisters. You understand? You got some brothers and sisters who used to have some things down there in the homeless shelter. Some brothers who used to be up. You understand? But the system favor our sisters, you understand? Not just in the economic realm, but in the political realm too. It'll promote the woman rather than promoting this great black man. It'll promote a homosexual black man rather than promote a straight black man.
The slavery really did a mind thing on us.
That's right.
Still affecting us today.
Exactly. It's called post-slavery syndrome. You understand? Post-traumatic slave syndrome. So we have to look at the great design. We're being played. In the words of Malcolm X, you have been bamboozled, hoodwinked, duped. So when a report come out saying that the most educated group in America today is the black woman, that's by design, honey. That's by design. Because who you working for? Who you working for? Who is your intelligence and intellect helping to get rich or to preserve their wealth? But sister, if you got it, you need to help out your nation. You need to help out your people. You need to help out your man. Start a business and let him run that and manage it. You understand? Where we at, brother?
We just finished verse 4, we on verse 5.
Read on.
And said, for this cause shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh.
One flesh. One flesh. Somebody say this with me if you don't mind. One flesh.
One flesh.
One purpose.
One purpose.
One aim.
One aim.
One destiny.
One destiny.
The motto of Marcus Mosiah Garvey was one aim and one, no, he said one Elohim, one aim, and one destiny. When a man marries a woman, she shouldn't be going here to church and you going over here. Right? But this society promotes that. Well, you do what you do and I do what I do. But we're in the same household. Well, you have your account and I have my account. That's the vision. And that house shall not stand.
Right.
So nowadays, a lot of brothers, they just compromise.
They just
They just compromise. Well, this is, I mean, they're going to do what they want to do anyway, so I just, if I want something, I just got to, just.
That's kind of what you taught from a young age. Even your uncles and stuff teach you happy wife or happy life. So they teach you to compromise when you're young. Just say yes. If you want to stay happy, just say yes. I done heard that before. So many weddings, people, uncles, just, you want to be happy, just tell her yeah, no matter what,
But he said one flesh. And that one flesh simply means we are one. What's that song? By We Are One?
That's amazing.
Maze, yes. Supposed to be one. One purpose, one aim, one destiny. Did you finish?
We just finished verse 5.
All right, read the
On
6th
6.
verse. Okay, that was the last verse, 6th verse? Okay.
We
All
on 6 now.
right, read 6th verse.
Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh. What therefore Yah have joined together, let no man put asunder.
so before you was married, you did your own thing. Now when you're married, you have to consider your spouse. Right? Because you once was two separate individuals, but when you get married, now you're one individual. You're a unit. You're one body.
Let's go to Ephesians 5th chapter. Ephesians the 5th chapter. We're talking about family structure and values and roles.
Any questions or comments? Any questions or comments? No, but if you have time, we go down.
Ephesians 5th chapter, the 28th to the 30th verse.
I just want to say, there's a lot of women, especially in Hollywood, when they get up, and stuff, they always have to put their maiden name in there.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't want to use their married name,
Like Jada Pinkett.
Yeah, Jada Pinkett Smith, but, that's not one. I mean, when you marry, man, you took on his name. I'm sorry.
I'm glad you brought that out.
Beyonce knows Carter. Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that out because I see that nowadays. That's a popular trend now. Yes, the hyphen.
That's what it do too.
And the hyphen, the divide.
That's crazy.
And football players do it. They'll have both names on their jersey, you know, of their father and their mother.
You know, they are redefining the roles of the man and the woman. Read Ephesians 5th chapter, 28 through the 30th verse.
Ephesians 5, verse 28 reads, "So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies."
So when you become one with that woman, you are, brothers, you are to love her as you love your own flesh, your own self. Now the problem is, the reason why there are a lot of dysfunction in the family is because a lot of brothers don't love themselves. So their anger and their lack of love for self causes them to misuse and abuse their wives. And a lot of times, even when a sister don't love herself, you know, she'll act out on her husband. And then what you have right there is what the police call domestic dispute.
Mercy, mercy, mercy.
And the number one call that the police department get in Fort Worth, Texas is domestic dispute.
That's actually nationwide.
I'm glad you brought that out.
Yeah, it is.
Nationwide.
And suicide.
And I also hear it, but go on. Go on.
So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourisheth and cherisheth, even as the Lord the church.
Okay. Now, do you see where it says?
Christ is the head of man. Is that in there?
Yeah, that's why I was telling you, 1 Corinthians.
Okay, let's go to 1 Corinthians. I'm glad you brought that out. 1 Corinthians 11 chapter. 1 Corinthians 11 chapter. You get there, read it, brother. Any questions or comments, please? If you have any questions or comments, you're free to ask them or make a statement.
First Corinthians 11 chapter.
1 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 1 reads, "Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ. Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things and keep the ordinances I delivered them to you. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is man, and the head of Christ is Yah."
Read that again.
"But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is man, and the head of Christ is Yah."
So that is the structure and the order of family. Read on, brother. Does anything else need to be read on?
That's it.
Okay. So Christ, Hamashiach, over the man. And because the man was actually made for the Creator. The man was made for the Most High. And the woman was made for who?
Man.
Can you get that, brother?
Which one here?
Well, the man was made, well, the woman was made for the man. The woman was made for the man. And I know that a lot of sisters may not want to hear that today, you understand, because they pushing this so-called gender equality. Don't y'all be fooled by that, sisters. It's appealing to you. It's appealing to your flesh. You understand? But it's a trick because they push that gender equality so they can push the homosexual agenda.
Yes. And it also breaks up a lot of families too.
There you go.
How can two walk together except they agree?
Right.
And if they don't agree and their paths are split, then it brings a division in the home, which also brings a division between man and Yah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
say that again.
Yeah.
When there's a split in the family, it brings a split between the man and the woman. It also brings a split between man and Yah.
Ooh, I like that last part.
Mercy, mercy.
So that division, it's a domino effect
Yes.
between the man and the woman, and then it affects the division between mankind and Yah. I like that. That's a good illustration, because that division that occurred. See, the relationship between a man and woman is actually supposed to be like Hamashiach in the church.
Yeah.
So that's so powerful what he just said.
You know, even the Father, Hamashiach and Ruach all on one accord as well, just like with the marriage.
See, when the white man started doing the white woman bad, she asked the black women to help her with that move. But actually, in actuality, it had nothing to do with the black woman, because it still didn't benefit her none. It just only drew her away from her man. And that struggle was the white woman's struggle alone.
And that was just used to usher in the gay agenda. So they
To
used
help
that,
them with
that
their
was
votes,
start
to
that.
get their purpose on. Because they still in the same situation they was in.
And then where I'm from, it was frowned upon, homosexuality. We just, it wasn't accepted, period. But being open-minded and trying, because I'm an 80s baby, so I was still around them. Like what you doing and how you doing it and what you got going on is how we going to be fruitful and multiply if we're not procreating.
That's because
And that shut the whole conversation down.
man play God now. So now we got a solution. Oh, you want to be gay? We got you. Now we're
Oh,
gonna
go
do
get
in
the surrogate
in
mother.
Vito's.
No.
What is it called? In Vito, where they take the needle and they put the semen into the egg.
Yeah.
We're gonna do that. We got you. Yeah.
That's two babies.
Yeah, so we got anything you need. So now you want to be gay, we got this solution. You want to be gay, we got the pill so that you won't die quick off from AIDS, so to fight out AIDS. But it still destroy the home, like what he's saying. Because first we went into defending the white people, which that took the black woman from the black man, and then they ushered in the gay movement as well. So they killed two birds with one stone.
Anyway, to say for Satan to do what he want to do.
Yep.
Who? Satan. Because the world was given over to the wicked.
Yep.
To rule for such a time.
Yep.
See?
Elder Tim?
Being an officer at the court, I work around a whole lot of them. And what I've been doing this past year has been sitting back and just watching them and studying. And for what I've seen, many of their women refuse to marry. They want to be the head and not a follower. So therefore, it brings up a split mentality. Many of them wants to be with the same sex versus being with the opposite sex. The whole agenda of how they think is just contrary to the way of Yah, to His word.
You know what?
Hold up.
Too, I noticed is that they promoting this independence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The psychology of a woman not needing a man.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what?
Yeah.
They're trying to promote that.
And that she's a god.
Yeah, God is.
God is,
You
yeah.
know,
Yes.
women, and I love my sister, boy, every last one of them.
Yes.
But they get this mentality that the man done put on them, that
Yep.
you don't need no man and
Yeah.
stuff, so they get all, you know,
Because they started
wrapped
that
up in
slave.
this.
Because they
But the femininity comes back when they're in trouble. They
Yeah.
break
Yeah.
down on the freeway. Now they can't jack that car. So now they get all pretty again. You know, they get out there and look out the street and the man stop and help them. But, you know, any other time, I don't need no man.
Yeah.
You know.
But they really started that in slavery. When they
Well,
start,
yeah,
when they start
he
just
started
coming in your house,
Yeah.
they want to put the man in front of everybody and do what they want to him to show you he ain't no man.
It's
Yeah.
called
And then they
buck
want to
break.
come in your house and
Yeah.
take your woman when she get ready. And then she had attitude like, you can't protect me from that white man, you ain't nothing.
Exactly.
But then even as the generations go on, now that that's passed, now that we got into homes, now they're gonna give you the EBT and all the financial assistance that you need, but we don't want no man coming in.
Come
How
in
you
your
gonna find
house,
a man?
yeah, 'cause you
You
can
scared
still
to
do
get a
without
man, have a
man.
man in there, cause they gonna take your support from you.
Yeah.
And you know the I saw something on the internet that says that the woman was saying I don't need a man, and her daughter said well I don't want one either, And then the son said, well, I don't want to be a man.
Wow.
He wanted to be a little girl because he never
See,
had
it's
no man
generational
to teach
now.
him how to be a man.
So when we should really be in the lineage of generational blessing, now we
still in
generational curses.
Yeah.
Hard.
But yes, the mother said, I don't need a man, and the daughter said, well, I don't want one either, and the son said, I don't want to be a man. So you know what he gonna be.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, so that's those are what the Bible calls generational curses. Brother Frank.
All of y'all right. And if y'all put all that together, y'all gonna see what's really happening. Society, the government, has put this together to bring us down.
And to keep us
This
down.
place is more than Sodom and Gomorrah. I just wonder what God gonna do to it.
You know what he gonna do. He said, I'll never
Billy
change.
Graham, the late Billy Graham made a statement. He said that if, now Billy Graham, you know, was a European, you know, American. He said that if the Most High does not destroy Western civilization, he must go back and apologize to Sodom and Gomorrah. Billy Graham said that, and he said that because America is more wicked, 10 times more than Sodom and Gomorrah. There is so much wickedness in division. Go to Proverbs 22 and 6.
1 Corinthians 11 real quick.
Okay, go ahead and read it.
1 Corinthians 11 verses 8 through 9 reads, for the man is not of the woman, but the woman is of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. And you got to hit that Ephesians 5 again. You didn't hit the Ephesians 5.
Okay, go back down. Go back down. So the woman was created for the man, to help the man do what the Most High has called him to do. Woman, if you're looking for a man, find you a man that's walking in the will and the purpose of the Most High Yah. Follow that man. You understand? Follow that man. Okay? Don't connect with a man that's not in the will and purpose of the Most High Yah.
You forgot to hit verse 31 and 33.
Okay, hit it.
Verse 31 reads, Ephesians 5, for this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. Verse 33, nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife, even as himself, and the wife see that she reverence her husband.
See, y'all see that? A lot of women don't respect their husbands. It's the man's job to love his wife, but it's the woman's job to respect her husband. Even if you don't agree with him, sister, like Big Mama would say, or the mothers of the church would say, the mothers of the old churches would say, well, baby, if you don't agree with him, still respect that man. Because what a man care about is respect. Respect, and that's why a lot of, that's why a lot of domestic dispute occurs. You understand? A man, he values respect. Even if you disagree with him, sister, still respect that man. Because a man values, I'm gonna get to you. A man, he values respect. Disagree with me, but respect me. It's called agreeing to disagree respectfully. Go ahead, brother.
Now, I just want to say that that also demasculize a man as well. When a woman be doing a man like that, because it eventually become a point where a man, he gonna either keep arguing with a woman, or he gonna get to the point where he just gonna shut up and just let it go on. But that's gonna demasculize a man, and he ain't gonna be able to play the role that he needs to play. So he needs to be a strong man, but women also got to know their role. And due to us being in this westernized mind frame, a woman do got that snapback mentality of, I'm going to do this and that, and they 9 times out of 10 got homegirls with the same mentality as well. You see what I'm saying? So they don't know how to play their role. And if they play their role, then it will force a man to take his role. Well, my woman doing everything, I got to step up. I got to be this provider. I have to be, make sure she feels secure in every way. You know what I'm saying? That forces a man to step up.
And because some men don't know how to restrain themselves, they end up hitting the woman.
Yeah.
That's a no.
You understand? And listen, the Bible speaks against a woman. You're not supposed to be provoking a man. I'm telling you, a man values respect.
Say it.
You know, and I don't condone it, but what I'm saying is that a man values, just like a woman values love, a man values respect. You don't have to agree with him, but just respect the man.
You know, it's
Go ahead, and then I'll get to you, then we need to finish these scriptures. Go ahead.
Okay, it's just like the word help me. A lot of women take help me as a put down.
Yeah.
But help me, if you look at the word meet, is to help the man meet the
Say it.
requirements of Yah.
Say it.
And when you help that man meet the requirements of Yah, everything will go exactly the way Yah intends for it to go. But when you fight that man thinking that it's a put down and that you're trying to be his slave, which is not what that word means, then you end up destroying your home.
Exactly. Exactly. Help that man meet his requirement. That's why I pointed out that man was incomplete. He was incomplete until the Most High Yah created a woman. So a woman has a very important role. You help the man to complete himself. The Most High's creation was unfinished without the touch of a woman.
yeah. And you know, the respect thing with a man is a big deal because even man on man, a lot of these murders that happen in the street is behind just getting disrespect.
Right.
Yes.
My condolences to the family of Nipsey Hussle. But when they asked the brother, you know, why did he do it? He said, because I feel like the man disrespected me. Celebrity status don't matter, man. Good work, all the good works you do in the community, it's nothing if a man feel like you done disrespected him. People care, even the G's in the streets, they care about respect.
They're willing to die behind it.
Whether you're poor or rich, got money, or a celebrity, or a common a guy with a job. You understand? People value respect.
Yes, sir.
And people will murder you if you don't respect them.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's go to Proverbs 22 and 6. Proverbs 22 and 6. Now we as parents, those of us who have children, we are
Giving instructions.
we're given instructions on what we should be doing as parents. Okay? 22 and 6.
Where we going?
Proverbs 22 and 6.
Brother Frank.
Proverbs 22 and 6.
Hey. 22 and 6, read it.
Proverbs 22 and 6 reads, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
Now, there's a difference between training up a child and raising a child. Go to Deuteronomy, the 6th chapter. Deuteronomy, the 6th chapter.
The Bible says, Proverbs
22 and 6 says, train up a child in the way he should go. A lot of people are raising children, but they're not training them up. There's a big difference. The 6th chapter, the 4th through the 7th verse. Deuteronomy, the 6th chapter, the 4th through the 7th verse.
Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4 reads, Hear, O Israel, the Most High, our Elohim, is one Elohim. And thou shalt love the Lord, the Most High, with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thy house, and when thou walkest by thy way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up.
Schooling, education, first starts at home. Parents, schooling, education, first starts where? At home. Even some public schools or teachers will tell you, look, their education really starts at home. But a lot of times, what they say and complain about is that we find ourselves having to be be the teachers and the parents. To teach them things that they parents should be teaching them. You understand? So, it's in the law, it's in the Torah that we are to teach our children at home before anybody else can teach them. Okay? And I'm going to get to you. And see, now we have the government want to come into our homes and play the parents. Because a lot of parents have neglected their roles to teach their children. Because of the dysfunction and the division of the man and the woman. A lot of single parent women struggle to teach their children. Not because they didn't want to, but because they was too busy trying to hold down a job. You understand? So because of the division, you understand, and because of the dysfunction of the family, the government wants to come in now and play the parent in your homes.
Have mercy.
They don't just want to just sponsor the public schools now. Now they want to play the role of a parent. You understand? Because when something happens, what do we do? We cry out to the government for what? Justice. But the more you cry out to the government for justice, the more they feel like they have the right to come in and control your life. Y'all see that? But according to the law, according to Torah, we are to train and teach our children before anybody else. We are to give them the foundation of learning and education. And listen, for us Hebrew Israelites, we have to take educating our own children, even in this Hebrew Children's Academy, seriously.
Seriously, we can't complain about the system. We can't complain about the public system. And we're not setting up a system for our own children. Hello?
Mercy, have mercy.
We can't complain about the system. And we are not putting together a system for our own children that is perfectly legal in the state of Texas. So it's more than just coming together, having Shabbat, reading some few scriptures, and that's it. Learning some Hebrew, and that's it. No, it's more than that. Torah is instructions on how we should conduct our life and our day-to-day business.
Right.
Building economic structure. Looking out for the poor among us. You understand? Because see, Elder Timothy, now what's going on is that it's like a fashion thing now. I got my fringes. I got the Cephas Bible.
Yeah.
I got the Book of Enoch. I got all these books, but you ain't building nothing, nigga, like. You got all this knowledge. You understand? I put it the Book of Enoch, legitimate. Apocrypha, legitimate. But most of these nigga-lights, they can't even master the 66. They can't even master Exodus the 20th chapter. Alone. And you want to come to me and talk about some Book of Jubilee. I accept it. But are you a liar?
And in the word, being a liar is one of the things that Yah hates.
Ooh. Are you a liar? Well, the white man, he lied. Are you a liar? Have you learned from the ways of the oppressor? Have you stopped lying? Fear Yah and keep His commandments. That's what I focus on. You understand? But listen, we are supposed to train up our own. And when we Hebrews come together like every other ethnicity do, they start in private schools, chartered schools, you understand? What's preventing us from doing this? It ain't just having a bunch of scriptures and I'm Hebrew this and no, it's more to that. Look, educating our youth is more important than 90% of what we do. Because if you don't invest in them, you have no future lineage.
Say it. All right.
The nation is destroyed.
Say it.
Whitney Houston said, I believe the children are the future because they are the future. See, them so-called Jews, they train their babies up while they're young. You're going to be a manager. And you're not going to be just a regular employee. You're going to own a business whether you like it or not. That's how they teach them. Well, child, just be thankful if you get a job. Thank Jesus I got a job. See, people, they have a job mentality. They think, oh, I'm blessed, I got a job. I got to get this scriptures. I'm going to get to you, brother. Ephesians 6:4. Ephesians 6:4. We're talking about family, structure, and values and roles. It is our role as parents, you understand, to educate our children. Their education first starts with us. Before you complain about the public school, complain about the home school.
Say it.
Do you teach them how to say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir?
Respect their elders.
Respect the elders, which is in the commandment. Honor your mother and your father. Also respect the elderly in the community. You want to know why a lot of young people are losing their lives? It's because they don't honor the elders. And the Most High said, I will cut your life off short.
Make it plain.
That's why the elderly are outliving the youth.
Man, burying their kids.
Ephesians 6:4.
6:4 reads, and ye fathers provoke not your children of wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Most High.
Don't, as parents, don't be provoking your child. Don't be provoking them. You just do it. You just do it. Don't provoke your babies. Don't provoke them children. But bring them up where?
They should go.
Bring them up in the admonition of the Most High.
Bring them up in the admonition of the Most High. Stop provoking your children. Do they have anything else to that, brother?
No, that's it.
What about before that?
Before that, you got 6:1. Children, obey your parents in the Most High, for this is right. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise.
Children, obey your parents, which is right.
This is the first commandment with promise.
With promise.
Right. Your days may be long.
And as long as your mother and your father is living, you may not agree with everything, but you better honor them.
Yep.
They may not agree with everything, but you better honor them. And you need to look out for your mother and your father when they're sick and not just push them on some nursing home.
Yeah, right.
She didn't do you like that. He didn't do you like that when they was changing your nasty diaper.
Say it.
It's time for you to look out for your parents. Nursing home, in some countries, they don't have nursing homes. You know why? Because they take care of their elderly.
Right. Like drugs.
But this economic system got us so busy where I don't have time, mama, to take you to get your medication. Well, that's probably a good one because that medication. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have time to go and buy you some organic food. Well, you need to make time. She made time for you.
That's right.
So, you know, if the family would just look out for one another, you understand, then there would be no need for no nursing homes. There would be no need for no homeless shelters.
Say it.
And I look around our community, our hood, and I see the Hispanics practicing this. And the majority of them are Catholics.
Mercy, mercy, mercy.
And we got Torah. So if we got Torah, should we not much more?
Say it.
Right.
I get more donations for the Hebrew Children's Academy from outside the Hebrew Israelite community from within. May not look like much, but I value it. Because they are our future. They are our future. Get a comment from Brother Elder Fields, and then we're going to conclude. Okay.
I think if we could go back to some of the things we did before slavery, like before slavery, it was just not a mother and father, it was the whole tribe that raised the family. It was more than just you. Because when you go to the hut, it's like all the old women and they teaching all the young women.
Right.
And all the young boys have to go where all the old men are and get raised and trained and in a way of being a man.
It was like that after slavery. It was like that when I came up because not only did I get a whipping from my mama, I got a whipping from uncle, grandpa, you know, the community. You know what I'm saying? You know your mama ain't talking to that boy. You know what I'm saying? You know. Exactly. You know that was but I wouldn't say today because you know
because the time is so different.
Yeah.
And people are different.
But because you got to raise up now a righteous nation in order for that to happen. But that happened when I, you know, it was more than just, you know, somebody would check me now. I know your mother and your father don't approve of that type of behavior. You know what I'm saying? And they would correct me. You know, read that verse and then we're going to conclude.
Proverbs 23:13 reads, withhold not correction from the child, for if thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die. Thou shalt beat him with the rod, and shalt deliver his soul from hell. And then this also touches on what the brother was saying earlier. Hearken unto thy father that beget thee, and despise not thy mother when she is old. So taking care of your family.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the father of the righteous shall be greatly rejoiced. And he that begetteth a wise child shall have joy of him. Thy father and thy mother shall be glad, and she that bare thee shall rejoice. And Deuteronomy 4 says that this is going to be your righteousness and the wisdom amongst the nations is when you go in there and you keep these commandments. And when you go down, it says, teach these unto your kids as you train them
your
up.
children.
That's what's wrong with kids today because they don't have no discipline.
Right.
And that's what, you know, that's so profound. I'm glad you brought that out. You know, despise not the elderly in our community because they old.
Right.
Don't do that. You keep living, you're going to get there.
Because life is cycle. You come out and your parents put you in diapers and take care of you. And then when you get older, you supposed to take care of your parents because they going to be in diapers. It's just an ongoing cycle. And whatever you do, your kids going to see it. So when you don't take care of your parents, don't be surprised when your kids get old and they ain't there for you. Because you didn't show them no example. This is how you're supposed to do.
Right.
Go ahead, and you're going to be the last.
We're closing, but real shortly getting back to women respecting and honoring their husband. I do believe, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but when we die and go to heaven and be judged before Yah, it says the man is responsible for what that woman did. It didn't say nothing about the woman. So the woman should respect the man. You see what I'm saying? We're going to be judged for that, not them. And the same thing with the children.
Just to piggyback on what he said.
It's a lamb band. We on piggy in here.
It helps well, together. But to continue with what he's saying, if you go back to Genesis, where it talks about when the woman ate of the fruit and when the man ate of the fruit, when did Yah show up in the garden? He didn't show up when the woman ate of the fruit. He showed up when the man ate of the fruit. Because he was waiting for the man to pass on judgment or what have you to the woman when she disobeyed him.
But he compromised. So that was on the man at the end of the day.
Well, Eve was deceived. Adam flat out disobeyed.
Yeah, because he knew
That's
better.
it.
Yep.
That's
So
what
men, we
That's
got to
it.
be men at the end of the day.
That's what you did.
And just like, see, what Adam should have done was what
Corrected the
Job
the
did.
woman.
Adam should have done what Job did.
Yeah.
Corrected the woman.
Job said, you
foolish woman.
speak as one of the foolish women. He didn't call her a fool.
No.
He said, no, honey, just to paraphrase, baby, you speaking as one of the foolish women.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand? So Adam should have checked her
Yeah.
Yes.
and said, no, baby.
Yeah.
No, baby.
Yes.
Adam tried to
You've
throw
been
her under
seduced,
the
you've been
bus.
hoodwinked.
No accountability.
Yeah,
Right.
you know, you baby, you've been seduced. You know what I'm saying? Put that,
Yeah.
cast that knowledge out your head, because it really wasn't no fruit. You know what I'm saying? Cast that knowledge out your head.
Then
You know what I'm saying?
Take a woman, they want to pull a World War III on you.
Yeah. Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
That
Go ahead.
Jezebel, because when you come up in the Sunday church, they teach you Jezebel wrong. They think that that's like a woman out here sleeping with everybody.
Oh, no.
Jezebel is a spirit that want to take over that man's position, want to usurp him and control him.
Dominant
so
spirit.
Jezebel, she was always usurping her husband. You know, so more so than him making the plays, he was like a little noodle back, what I call him. And he was, he won't give me the feel that I want. So she said, I'm going to go get it for you. So when a man don't step up, a woman actually gonna have to do it. So sometimes a woman might be put in a masculine position because the man ain't stepping up and doing what he got to do. So it's a fine balance. I don't want the females to feel like we just be bashing, because that's what a lot of females do. They feel like we bashing, but it's on both parts. But it's important for a woman to know her role as well, because it helps the man to be a better man.
Psalms 31. Psalms 31.
Yeah, a woman that's that reverence the Most High shall be praised.
No, Proverbs.
Virtuous one.
Now I'm not gonna.
Proverbs 31.
Now I got criticized because I told him because I said don't be praising a whore,
Okay.
and I got criticized by a lot of women. And I said, but look at the difference.
Yeah, it's
The-
not a whore.
Because if you praise a whorish woman, then you're gonna keep her dressing like a whore.
Right.
In revealing clothes.
Right.
Ooh, she fine. Ooh, she's sexy. And she, I gotta go out and buy me some more of these.
Yeah, the other one's gonna do it.
But if you praise a woman that's
He protects us and guides, so that's her responsibility. That's why in that law, it was if the father heard a daughter saying a vow that he thought was foolish, he could go and denounce it before Yah, and the Yah wouldn't hold it against her. Then when she got married, the husband could do the same thing.
and a sisters, women are always supposed to be up under authority. You go from the authority of your father and mother to your husband.
Right.
And that's not to control you, but to protect you. There's a difference between a man being over a woman to cover her than being over a woman to control her.
It's not a dictatorship.
That's right.
Exactly.
It's a covering, not a control. You understand? So there's a big difference. You understand? At this particular time, we're going to conclude. Thank you for your participation. Let's give Almighty Yah a hand clap praise. We're going to take